Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:30. It's time to go behind the hedges. I'm your host, Mitch, and my co-host, Matt, is not with us tonight. He's feeling a little under the weather. So maybe he'll stop by in a little while, but we have some dogs waiting in the wings to talk about some recent happenings with the team. But before we do that, let's do this. There they are. There's the boys. Welcome to the show, KTG TV. What's going on, buddy?
Man, I still don't know what's going on. It's been a party for a week now, and that's about all I can say.
All right, and we're working on a new dog to the channel. This is Patrick Oliver. Everybody say hello. Patrick's coming to us from good old North Carolina. Where in North Carolina are you?
Southeast Guilford County, which is just outside of Greensboro.
Oh, okay. All right. You familiar with the Whitewater Center outside of Charlotte?
Sure.
Oh, okay. As 100 million years ago, I used to see this old girl who worked there, and anywho, we won't get into that on the show. That's a whole nother show. So how did you find us, Patrick? What are you doing here, man?
Well, let's see. A little backstory with me. Yes, I'm a North Carolina boy. I've been in North Carolina my whole life, but my family has deep Georgia roots. I've got family that's went to UGA, family that's graduated from UGA, and still some families scattered all over parts of Georgia. So I've been a dog, you might say, for life. And a fella that I work with, you guys know him. Hopefully, Mitch, some of your listeners may know him. His name's Robert Reynolds. He runs the DGD podcast. He and I, we kind of bounce ideas off each other, and he mentioned that he was going to start a podcast for the damn good dogs, and I was like, go for it, man. I'm all in, whatever. I'll be there to support. I'll be there to chat. I'll be there to talk it up, and it's just kind of taken off from there. And of course, through there, I met both of you guys.
Yeah, there you go. And a pile of other dogs. My God. In case you folks didn't know, recently Robert started up a Discord channel, and I suppose it's open invite, right?
Yes, sir.
So I could actually put the invite here on the screen.
And he's welcoming everybody, not just dogs. If you're
While you drop that, I'm gonna give you. I told Patrick and him this the other day. Fun fact about the DGD podcast: KTG was the first ever special guest.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good one. Where is my invite? There we go. Invite. Boop. All right.
So yeah, you might say, Mitch, I'm unofficially I'm Robert's hype man.
There you go. This might be a little clunky, but I'm doing the best I can here. So short notice and all that. Hey, everybody watching the show right now, hit this link up down at the bottom of the screen. I'll put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. Let's see. There it is. Boom, there it is. All right, so go to that link, join it. You don't even have to be a Georgia fan. You can be a fan of any team you want. You'll get a role. You have boards that are specific to your program, and then you'll be able to talk to the group, as a whole and all that. Really excellent idea, and man, I like it. There's a lot of information coming at you from a lot of different sources. I used to use, of course, I still use YouTube. I'm a YouTube, slob. There's tons of good channels out there, and I'm hoping that this is one of them. I like to go on the Reddit boards, but Reddit is the wild, wild west. You have to take what you can get there with a grain of salt. And of course, all the standard, UGA message boards and whatnot. And but recently we started up a chat, a group chat from the guys from Field of Streams here, and for the sake of argument, or just to kind of fill you in, Patrick, since you're new and all, Field of Streams started as an idea where we would have a group of streamers producing content based on SEC football or just SEC sports in general, right? If you want to do baseball or basketball or whatever, you can focus on that thing. And so far, we have myself and Matt representing Georgia football, and we got a couple of Tennessee guys who do the Very Orange live stream, our VOLS. And then we have a resident Gator who floats in and out. We have a resident Auburn guy who's trying to get something together, some regular content. But we were hoping to have, 14 teams, 7 days a week, two shows a day, that kind of thing, based on all the various teams. And we're still looking for people who want to be content creators or are already content creators. And Robert starting this Discord is kind of giving us opportunity to sort of see that. I actually got to talk with one of the Alabama guys last night who does a podcast for them, and he subbed up our channel. I subbed up his. It's all we're competitors on the field, but in this part of the season particularly, and even year round, man, we've bounced ideas off one another. These Tennessee guys help out. These Florida guys help out. You know what I mean? And I'd like to help them out. I've made graphics and stuff for them too. I'm just a computer nerd trying to talk football. You know what I'm saying? Right. So anyway, I think the community is a good one that Robert's creating down there, and I'm looking forward to spreading the good word, so to speak. So everybody, like I said, click down here and get on this link. Let's see. We're getting a comment here from Preston. Let's see what Preston got to say. Thoughts on JT transferring? Preston, tonight is the night we are going to celebrate the Dawgs. All right. We got some shows coming up where we're going to talk about the roster movement and all that kind of things. But I think this is a fair enough question. Thoughts on JT transferring? I'll say what I got to say, and then if you guys have something you'd like to add, then feel free. I told Matt Ducati heading into 2022. Look at this right here. Hashtag never satisfied. So I told Matt heading into 2022, I don't much care what happens with the quarterback position. One. Number two, the coaches have earned my trust begrudgingly. I was one who just I was angry about it for most of the year. Number three, I do not want to live through the Stetson Bennett, JT Daniels saga for another season. And if that means that Stetson's gone or JT's gone or they're both gone, then so be it. All right. And if JT's leaving, fine. If Stetson comes back, fine. I know we got Brock Vandegrift and Gunnar Stockton though sitting on the bench, and I really, really like to see those guys on the field. So you boys want to address the JT Daniels situation, then I say go for it.
You know my thoughts. I'm not even going to get into it because it'll turn into a.
You haven't really been a fan, have you?
I don't like him. I'm glad he's gone. Hey, that's all I'm going to say about it. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
I got you. I mean, I feel I like the guy's talent is undeniable, but you're right. He does seem to be injured.
This is how I'm going to put it. This is how I'm going to put it, and I'll make it short and sweet. But I do want to touch on this just a tad bit on JT and Stetson's behalf. I just felt like JT was a little entitled. He thought that he really deserved that job. Stetson went a whole other route, came to Georgia as a Georgia fan, as a walk-on, went JUCO, took his job. JT took Stetson's job. Stetson took it back. We won a national championship. So I feel like Stetson wasn't entitled. I feel like Stetson wanted the job. He went and he got it, and JT's just he can go wherever the heck he wants to go. If you want him at Southern P word, good luck, man, because he ain't it. That's all I got to say about it. I'm done, or I will flip out.
Yeah, right on, Preston. All right, so man, I'm Stetson came to Georgia, and he did this right here. Right, he rolled up the sleeves and he went to work.
Yes,
right?
He did.
And just know, when did you ever see Stetson Bennett complaining about anything at all? It's the guy just doesn't do it. He just went to work. And was he perfect? Absolutely not. Right. But like, if every single kid who ever plays for Georgia plays like that, just goes to work, bro, we're gonna stack up titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what's going on with JT. Maybe it's some of what is what Caleb was talking about. Maybe he's a little soft. Maybe he's a little entitled. Maybe he's a little this or that or whatever. Right? All I know is that there's way too much drama for my liking, and maybe he's just a better fit somewhere else. Is this a From Fields 2.0 thing? I don't think so.
No,
yeah, that debate's over with.
Yeah,
that debate's over with. We won a national championship. The hell with JT. The hell with From and Fields, man. This ain't the only. Hey, this ain't the only new hat I got today. There's a mailman hat somewhere around.
Oh,
it's
we were talking about in the chat the other day of how come Stetson hasn't signed an NIL deal with the United States Postal Service, right? And then somebody spoke. It's like, actually, the USPS isn't doing any sort of sponsorship. They're not doing any sort of ad campaigns at all right now. They're in some dire straits financially, And I guess I knew that. It makes sense. I didn't realize that they had just pulled back all advertising or whatever. But wouldn't this be an opportunity for like FedEx or UPS or somebody like that to step up and slap a big old Stetson Bennett sticker on the side of one of those big brown trucks?
They need to make a Stetson chew flavor too, man. That joke's all the time. I love that dude, man. I'm a fan.
Oh man, I became a fan. Like, when at the end of the game, watching him tear up on the sideline, dude. I mean, me too. You know what I mean? I'm sitting right there on the couch. I was like, bro, I'm with you. Did y'all see the article about Mecole Hardman's dad? Oh gosh, I need to share this then. All right, give me a second. I'm going to pull up this article here. This is actually pretty good. Mecole Hardman, senior. Let's see. Just talk amongst yourselves.
I'll keep elaborating, man, because like seeing Stetson tear up and just squall, it was so satisfying to me, man. Those were the most satisfying tears I've ever seen, because I felt it, man. I don't know what it was. I felt it. I was like, he wanted that so bad. He went and made it happen.
And here we go. This is the story I was talking about. The story is called. This is from WIS 10 News. UGA alum gets unexpected gift of a lifetime. So basically, there's this lady, Lindsay Dickerson. This is the lady here in the picture. She's a UGA alum, and she's waving down her FedEx driver. She was having a hard morning. Says she's had some health issues, and she's been sick. She had several surgeries and all this kind of business, and just things are just not going well. And the UPS driver keeps leaving her packages in front of her garage door rather than her front door, so it's harder for her to get to them. And so one day she just decided that she was going to actually like sit out on the porch and tell the guy to, hey, leave the packages up here. And so she's sitting out on the porch, and I think she's wearing like a UGA hoodie, right? And the driver comes up and drops her package, and she's like, hey, can you bring the package up here, to the porch instead? And he's like, sure, no problem. And as he's leaving, he's like, go Dawgs. And she's like, wait, go Dawgs. What do you know about the Dawgs or whatever? And then he says, well, actually, I'm Mecole Hardman's dad. And she's like, no way, you're not Mecole Hardman's dad. And he's like, sure I am. And he FaceTimes Mecole right there with her. And she and, the three of them have a little FaceTime session. She's very, very gracious. Now they're like best buds and stuff, because it turns out she's suffering from some sort of condition that I think, if I remember correctly, I'm not going to go read the whole article, but if I remember correctly, somebody in Mecole's family actually shares that same condition. And so anyway, like the dad and this girl they're like buds now or whatever, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just thought that was cool. Like, she's just sitting out on her porch waiting for a package, you know what I'm saying? Like, and literally the mailman, delivered. So anyway, just a little thing. Oh my God. talking about NIL deals. Y'all remember Stetson cologne?
Yeah,
bro.
Right.
I used to spray that stuff all over my leather bomber jacket back in the day. Oh man. So you were telling us how earlier, Patrick, about how you came to be, and KTG here he's old school. He's been doing this grind for a little minute, right? Hadn't you? When did you get started, man?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, it was about last August.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
August of
you were
2020.
just getting off the ground then when we kind of bumped into one another then. All right. So you know how you get on Facebook and you get these recommendations. It's like, we think you might like to watch this video or look at this page or all this kind of stuff. And so I talk about Georgia from time to time. I post Georgia's content and stuff like that, news stories and whatnot. And then I got a recommended video that's you might like this guy here. He's playing Georgia video games, right? And I said, what the heck? And I just click on it. And there's this guy, it's this picture, the one you see right there down in the bottom of the screen. And there's the Dawgs playing. And I'm sitting there watching, and all of a sudden this guy starts talking about, like he said somebody in his chat. Well, you have an FSU fan in your chat. Somebody in your chat was like a FSU fan and was like, talking. And Caleb was like, hey man, I think you said something like, I don't have anything against Florida State or whatever. In fact, I live pretty close to Tallahassee. And I was like, hold up, man. I am from around Kirby Smart's hometown. Like I used to teach high school in Bainbridge, Georgia, where Kirby's from. Right. And, but I grew up in Colquitt, Georgia, which if you look at a map, is the next town up the road. Right. And went to school in Miller County at Miller County High, home of the Pirates, all that during the Ronnie McNeese and Alan Ingram days, right? And so this guy starts talking about how he's like he's really close to Tallahassee, Florida. And so I hit him up in the chat. I'm like, where are you? How close to Tallahassee? And he was like, about 45 minutes away. I said, I used to live 45 minutes away. I taught him. So we got chatting. Turns out this dude here also graduated from Miller County High School many years later. Like you ain't got this gray hair yet there, but many years later. But here's the crazy thing. Caleb's dad was a year ahead of me in school, and Caleb's mama was a year behind me in school. I know his parents. In fact, I know him, but when he was this old. You know what I mean? Like when he was
grasshopper.
Exactly. When he was running around at the baseball field and doing all those kind of things, that's when we were living the life that he's living right now. Right. So I thought it was really funny, man, that I got recommended a video from a dude literally from my tiny little podunk hole in the wall hometown, on Facebook. And I was like, oh, well, I guess the algorithm works then or something. Right. So and P Word, who keeps popping in here, Preston, we call him P Word because that dude used to play Small World. Yeah, it's your world, Preston. We just living in it. That dude used to play for the Pirates. I remember old P Word. 74? Were you 74, Preston? Come on, buddy. Confirm or deny. I think Preston Warner.
I think it was 74.
Wow.
I think he was I want to say Preston may have been a senior when I was a freshman, or I might have been in 8th grade. I can't remember.
Bam. Great memory. You got that right, buddy. P Word, man, I miss it. P Word, he was P Word 06, I think it was. On the
if he was 06, I was in 8th grade.
He was on the Georgia Varsity Sports Vent as P Word 06. Yes.
The GAVSV. Oh man, I got in a lot of trouble on that website.
Did you? I was OG. I'm like original game when it used to be like a single page that had all sports, all classifications on one long line of threads. So you'd have Parkview dudes going off on like Clinch County dudes, you know what I mean? Like in the same chat. And I was like, this is nonsense. But you up there near where you are, Patrick, as close in Georgia as you can get, is like Lincoln County. You familiar with Lincoln County?
Yes, sir.
Lincoln County, Georgia is they were I don't know what's been going on with them recently in recent years, Caleb, but for years and they were like the New York Yankees of Class A ball in Georgia, like just stacks and stacks of championships. You know what I mean? Like you go to their stadium and they had to build the bleachers higher so they could paint more numbers on the back of them, like more accolades and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, man, they were something. I remember them coming down to Miller County in 1997, and we had an undefeated team that was just like murdering folks, right? And they came down and beat us 14-12 in Colquitt. And I sat in my car and stared at my steering wheel for probably 4 hours after that game was over. It was a nightmare, man. What are we talking about here?
We're going down memory lane, man. That's what you're supposed to do when you're celebrating, though, man. You think about the good things. We just went back a few years.
Yeah, dude. It's like I feel like just popping open a cold one and putting your feet up by the fire.
I'm with it,
and just talking about the old days, dude.
Anything back to 1980 is good timing right now.
Yeah. No kidding. I can go pretty far. I mean, I was born in. Listen, I was alive when Georgia won the previous national championship.
Let's just say I was old enough to know who Herschel Walker was, and that was about it.
I remember my grandmother, my dad's mom, had a plaster cast Georgia Bulldog coin bank. I know that y'all probably seen them along the way, but this thing was like a white molded as a bulldog, sitting like this here, and you put the coins right between his shoulder blades, right? And ugly thing, droopy face and all that. And somebody had painted the G. He had a G on his back, sort of like a saddle. The shirt he was wearing like a saddle, and they had painted it poorly, mind you. Painted the G black, red around it, and then black outline. And I remember going over to my grandma's house, and she used it as a door prop. Thing was full of pennies. I mean, it was full of 800 pounds of pennies. You know what I mean? And she'd just push it up against the door to keep the door open. And every time I'd go over there, I was just, I was knee high to a grasshopper. And I come in, I was like, Grandma, what's that? What's that thing right there? And she goes, oh, that's a Georgia Bulldog. And so, I'm only like 1 or 2 years old, starting to hear about Georgia Bulldogs. And we grew up in the corner of the state between Alabama and Florida. So, and in the shadow of Bobby Bowden. You know what I mean? Like that man cast a large shadow over that part of the state for a long time. And my dad was a huge Florida State Seminoles fan. My wife used to work in Tallahassee. So she actually tutored Jameis Winston and those guys when she was working at FSU. Reggie, what was his name? Reggie, number 5. Not Reggie Nelson. He played for Florida.
Jalen Ramsey?
Oh,
or no, he's 8. He was number 8.
Played defense. Reggie. God dang it. Anyway, she hates that guy. She said that man would show up to her riding center and just never bring work with him, never tried to do any of the school work. And it was her responsibility to sort of like, urge him in that direction. He just wasn't having it. She still hates him. I'll find that guy's name out after a while. Anyways, grew up in the shadow of Bobby Bowden, and I just utterly rejected it. I had nothing to do with that, And I remember when I first started following football was basically, I was aware that I remember the 85 Bears, you know what I mean? That was a thing when I was a kid, and the Super Bowl shuffle and all that,
Yeah.
And then I remember going to the Pirate games as a kid and going to Seminole County, Miller County games as a kid, because my mama was from Miller County, but my dad was from Seminole County. And they were arch rivals. And my dad actually used to play football alongside Coach Ingram when they were in high school. They played down at Seminole County. And the story they would tell was that they would go to the games, and if the game was in Seminole County, the home crowd wouldn't let my mama in their stadium, or in their stands. And so my dad and mom, if they were on a date, they would have to sit down in the end zone. And then when they go to Miller County, same thing, they'd have to sit down in the end zone. So anyhow, man, I just remember growing up, and then we had this running back in the early 90s named Selma Calloway of the clan Calloway, right? And there was a whole bunch of Callaways that come after that. But Selma was kind of the first one. And Selma went to the University of Georgia, and he was the first player I remember following in high school who then I got to watch on TV on Saturdays. You know what I mean? Like that was a big deal to me, right? And Preston says the Callaways were fun to watch. Yeah, brother, they oh man, just the whole family full of running backs, right? So Selma went to UGA and had a decent career. He wasn't like, a Heisman winner or anything like that, but he ran the ball for Georgia. He played fullback for him back in the early to mid 90s. And then after that, it's just kind of like, watching the Dawgs, and I started working with the football team after high school, and I got to be around when Preston and those guys were playing, and when Brandon Miller and some of those dudes were playing, and Charles Grant and all them. They were like the year behind me. These are guys. Charles won a ring with the Saints,
Mm-hmm.
and dude played tailback for us in high school and went on to play defensive end in the NFL, for God's sakes. And that was a freaking tailback. You know what I mean? Yeah, Preston said he was able to watch Dom but never Selma. Talmadge was another good one down there. Talmadge was the little guy who used to be the fullback for Charles. And Charles could have just eaten Talmadge, just sat down with a fork and knife and it wouldn't even filled him up. But it was funny to watch that guy blocked for that other dude. So anywho, lifelong Dawg, and it's only intensified, And then here I am, a million years later, living in central Pennsylvania, and a dude that I used to follow the Dawgs with back in college when we were at Valdosta State, and when Kirby was actually at Valdosta State, and then I moved up to Pennsylvania and found out that this guy that I used to follow the Dawg with also moved to Pennsylvania a few years ago. And we got to chatting Dawgs, and finally he said, "Hey man, what if we did our own show?" So there we go. So it's me and Ducati doing a show. But yeah, so bumped into to KTG up there, kind of randomly, and then been making some nice inroads here in this UGA world.
We're just growing the family.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to keeping this ball rolling as we go on down the road. So we're about half an hour in. I have not held up my end of the bargain. I wanted to give you boys an opportunity to talk about this season and but here I am just like diarrhea of the mouth as per usual. So what about it, man? What do you think, Caleb? Like looking back on this season 10, 20, 30 years from now, what will you remember about this season? Generally or specifically, however.
Obviously the national championship. I think the most memorable game probably was the first one, though. Clemson, you heard they were going to beat us down all season long, and then just the stifling defensive performance we had just really set the tone, man. After that, I just didn't think anybody could score on us, and basically nobody did. So yeah. That's I think the defense, and I think everybody will remember the defense, but just seeing, I don't know, man, the Kobe Dean flying around, Jordan Davis collapsing folks, and
yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you my favorite quote. I'll tell you my favorite quote, and then I'll let you go on to Patrick.
Either you elite.
Nah. Zamir White after the Clemson game. If I wanted to play with children, I'd have my own. When you that's my favorite quote. I gotta get that. I gotta get that in a picture frame or something. That's it, though.
Like you want it embroidered on like a doily.
Gotta have it, man. I always say that now. If I want to play with children, I have my own. I love it. It's so funny,
that was a good. In fact, there were a lot of good quotes from this season. That's a good one. Either you're a leader, you're not. Like that. That one's going to go down for me. Like
of
that.
Course.
Yeah. And the leaked audio from the Florida halftime.
Yeah.
That stuff was beautiful. I want to break them.
Just laugh and point at the damn scoreboard.
Right. I love it. Don't say shit. My brother sent me that. It was early one morning, and I got a text message from him. He's still down in Bainbridge, right? And he was like, "Hey, man, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to listen to this, but you need to wake up and do that, And so I'm like rubbing the sleep out of my eyes, getting my coffee, and I hit play on it, And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I texted him back. I said, "Dude, that is something serious." He said, "Yeah, dude, I heard that." And now here's the thing: my brother's a Clemson fan. All right, and he's been a Clemson fan like since Refrigerator Perry days. All right, so like he's old school Clemson, right? He's just had some really good years here recently. But he said he heard that Kirby Smart audio and he wanted to run through his wall and pull an oak tree up with his bare hands.
Yeah. Motivation.
Yeah, it was damn motivating at the end. I mean, I've played that clip for people who aren't even football fans, and they're like, "Holy shit, I would do anything for that man." You know what I mean? If Kirby Smart tells you to load the dishwasher, you're like, "Yes, sir, I'm gonna load the shit out of this dishwasher." Yes. Here, well, welcome to the show, there, Robert.
Hey,
Hey, man.
Dawg.
I posted a join link on Discord, Robert. So if you're into it, man, just hop on and chat with us. We'd love to have you. So yeah. So Patrick, what about you, man? When you look back on this season, what's going to stick out to you? What are the memories
Well, let's
for
see.
you?
First of all, that first game, the Clemson game, like I agree with Caleb. I mean, that was the game that set the tone, and that game really pissed me off because I live less than 2 hours away from that damn stadium and I couldn't. But hey, the outcome still worked out. It was good. My favorite game of the year was probably the Kentucky game, and the backstory on that is there is a guy on TikTok. He is a Kentucky sports talk guy, and he talked so much shit the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to that game. Hey, Dogs, we're coming. Don't forget, we're coming. We're coming. And he just kept on, and he was relentless, and he wouldn't stop. And then we all know how that turned out.
So, who is that guy? Do you know the creator?
I don't know his name. I'll see if I can't hunt him down, and I'll clue you in who he is.
I was just wondering if it was Pigskin Pete. I like
Pigskin Pete.
He does a good one.
That was probably my favorite game. Other than, of course, it's always good to beat Auburn and Florida. But my favorite play of the year was probably when they brought Big JD 99 in on offense to get that pancake touchdown. That was that was.
And then getting to see him, conduct the band.
And he's got a really special connection with that band. But
they gave him a uniform. Did you see that?
Red coat, yeah, I saw.
They specially made. They had to stitch a few of them together. It looked like
4 of them together to make one.
Yeah, they gave him a red coat, man. That's dope, man. When you have stuff like that, I remember going down and I think it was in Orlando it was Orlando when we played Michigan State that year with Stafford and Noshawn Marino. I was at that game.
Yep.
The Capital, I think it was Capital One Bowl. Tell me the year. I have no idea. 2008, maybe 2009. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
This dude.
What's that?
Robert Reynolds can tell you. Noshawn is his dude.
Yeah, Noshawn was a man. But after that game was over and we beat Michigan State, Noshawn went and jumped on the podium and he directed the crowd because he was literally, I could reach my left hand out and pat his booty. He was that close to me. You know what I mean? So that was a good time.
Yeah.
This is I loved calling Florida to finish 4th. What's so bad, dude, is you still missed it.
Yeah.
You didn't lower your expectations enough, Rob.
You overbuild them, Robert.
Credit too much.
Yeah, this might be also one of my personal favorite moments of the season.
I think we'll hang 20.
What?
That is the best. That's it.
That's it. going into the Tennessee game. That was one of our resident Tennessee guys. Great dude. TSG super genius Wiley. Great dude. Great guy. Even though he is a Vol. But he said, "Hey man, you guys have a really fun." And he was honest the whole season. He said, "Look, I think Georgia's going to win the championship." He said that from like week 1. And he never backed off that. That angle, but he did believe his Volunteers were onto something, and he was right. I mean, the Volunteers, their offense was clicking along, and if you go back and look, you'll see during the regular season they scored the most points on us, right? But we were leading up to that game, and sure enough, we said, hey, what do you think about the game there, buddy? And
I think we'll hang 20.
What? he said I think we'll hang 20, and Matt damn near choked to death on the camera. I said, what did you say?
How big your eyes got was hilarious.
And sure enough, they didn't. Oh boy, when they didn't score 20, man, we let him have it.
What a meme. That's definitely the meme of the season.
Oh wait, Robert brings up another one, Ducati eating crow. Yeah. Listen, Ducati has grown to love the taste of crow, and sometimes craves. I think I have that stinger here. Look, here it is.
So, Ducati, Mitch, I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna give you one of the hottest takes, and I'm gonna see what y'all think about this.
Oh,
And
here we
if it
go.
ends the show, it ends the show. What would you say if Arik Gilbert comes to Georgia?
It ain't happening. Get out. I don't want to hear it. It's done. It's dead. He's going back to LSU. That's the only school he can make grades for. And at this point, would you want him, Robert?
Yes, I would. And you want to know why? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Here's my take.
It's so hot. It's scorching hot.
Arik Gilbert his grades will get better. He'll be eligible, and he's going to come to Georgia as a receiver, and he will light it the hell up.
I mean, he was mostly right. He did come to Georgia. He was going to play receiver. We haven't seen the guy since, and I mean, who knows if we ever will. I think I have one more here for you guys, and actually in the comments, I think Robert made mention of this too. Here it is, right here, the Arkansas game, first noon game, and the atmosphere from that told me the crowd was behind away. Dude, the crowd at the Arkansas game was unbelievable. Those clowns were loud out there. All right, I mean, it was like standing next to a freaking jet taking off, you know. But here's the thing, Patrick, and you too, Caleb. I used to teach high school in Bainbridge, and I have a former student, Rohan Gaines, and Rohan played football for the University of Arkansas. And if you remember when it was Bo Wallace, right? Bo Wallace was at Ole Miss, the quarterback, and Rohan had a 109-yard interception return for a touchdown against Bo Wallace. And I still play it, man. If I could find the clip, I have it somewhere around here in all my stuff. You know, I could play it for you. You can find it on YouTube. Rohan Gaines returns interception for a touchdown versus Ole Miss. It's unbelievable. But I had Rohan on the show the week that we were going to play Arkansas, and I think this is that clip. I'm gonna play this one for you.
So I have a question, Rohan, and this is a straight up question. I want you to think about this for a second. What will you say around 3:30 on Saturday when the score is 42-3?
I doubt it, but
I know you doubt it right now, but I'm saying, what will you say on Saturday when that's the score?
Hey, like you said, I can do it tip my hat.
Okay.
I'm with Rohan on this, and I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident. If something like that happens, y'all might not be able to be around me no more. I might become obnoxious.
35-0, tip you.
37 nothing. Yeah, I missed the prediction by 2 points. You know?
I would have loved to have been on that show. Rohan was actually the playing quarterback for Bainbridge, the first ever radio broadcast I did. They were playing against Early County. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that you had actually called one of his games, or maybe more than one of his games.
I think it was his junior year, and then his senior year we got the kid from Cairo, Bench, Stephen Bench came in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Penn State.
Mm-hmm. He went up to Happy Valley. He lived right over across the ridge. That was those guys were special, man. I taught those guys. DJ Stubbs was in my class. Jamario Brown was in my class. I had a lot of those dudes from those old Bainbridge teams in my class. They wonderful dudes. In fact, I just talked to DJ's mama just this week. I spoke to her on the telephone. Those guys are awesome, and it fills me with pride that they talk about me the same way that I talk about them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yes. I wish I had a clip of the floor. I just saw this one, and you know what? I'm just gonna play it. This is for you, Ethan.
I hate to start off with this, but I have to ask, take us through what happened right at halftime, and on the same scale, how do you balance, wanting to keep guys out of trouble versus, telling them defend your teammate, defend your quarterback?
Well, I think it starts there. I think, I didn't see it. I was watching the play down the field to see if there was pass interference on the player, if we made the catch. But everyone's running to the locker room, and it kind of keeps spilling down that way. So it's a really unfortunate situation. It's not something we condone, obviously. It's not something that you really want to see in the game at all.
Well, we'll find out here in a matter of seconds from the 3-yard line. Bazelak in trouble, lofts it up to the end zone. They got it, touchdown, tight end, Daniel Parker, and this one is in the books. Missouri wins it by 1.
May the force be with you.
I know you guys saw the news. I met with Coach Mullen shortly before noon today in his office, and we had a conversation. Just told him I felt like we needed to go a different direction for the Gators and our football program. Gave him the opportunity to coach the game Saturday against FSU, and he made the decision that he thought he would be a bit of a distraction if he was around this week after this news came out, and so he made the decision to step away and not coach the FSU game.
You hate to see it.
I don't like people losing their jobs and stuff, but the pettiness is like 10 out of 10, man.
Dude,
I did, Preston. I called Missouri winning that game. You're right, but
dude, I say I have no love nor hate for Eli Drinkwitz. He doesn't register on my radar. You know what I'm saying? Missouri is not a team I think about. You know, ever since the old man football / grown man football thing, Missouri's done, right? As far as I'm concerned. But that was cool, man. You know that guy's been waiting a long time, and he showed up with his little lightsabers. May the force be with you, and walked off like a champ.
Man, the only thing that would top that off is if that had been a Bud Light in his hand.
Yeah,
Boy, I'd have died.
It just drained it like Stone Cold, right there.
Oh man.
That was beautiful, dude. That was beautiful. No, I had no reason to play that other than I saw it in my tray over here, and I thought, yeah.
You don't need a reason to play that. That's just comedy gold.
You don't need a reason to play this.
I think we'll hang 20.
What?
Man, that's still the best, man.
That's 4 seconds. 4 seconds of fury right there.
Dude, you need to make a montage. You need to make a montage of all these clips and your little, the pictures you did every week.
Yeah,
you do a montage and post. That would be cool. I'd be interested in watching that.
That's something to think about, man. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's true. But
I don't know if you're familiar with it, Patrick, but we did a thing on the Field of Streams Facebook page where we called it the pick of the week, but instead of PICK, it's PIC of the week, like the picture of the week. Right. So after that week's games were completed, just the image that sort of stood. And dude, let's be honest. 2021 was a wild season. Like there was plenty of action and upsets and drama and storylines to follow, right? And it seemed like the one constant the whole season was the Dawgs, and everybody's just dropping like flies. I mean, how many ranked teams lost this year? It's ridiculous, right? But every week there was somebody who was experiencing high levels of misery, right? And that whoever that was, their picture made it onto the pick of the week. And man, that's some comedy gold. And the Dawgs got roasted a couple times too. There's the gif of Stetson taking the snap right off of his face, man. But that last one, did you see the last one, Caleb? The last one is Kirby kissing the trophy right in the dead center, right next to Freddie Freeman, celebrating. That junk is golden, dude, golden. So for me, man, I'm gonna tell you, I've thought about this. I've been like kicking this around in my head all week. It's the block punt by Action Dan against Archie, man. That's the moment for me. When we blocked that punt and then Zeus recovered it, dude, I was just like, oh snap. And you know what I mean? It's like people who are non-Georgia folks look at Georgia and they say, oh, you got 100 million 5 stars. Of course you're going to win. And it's a walk-on throw into Lad the honky McHonky, you know what I mean? And the freshman sensation Brock Bowers, and you got defense being played by Action Dan Jackson. You know what I mean? And it's like, what really? Are we so loaded with 5 stars? And yet these are the dudes. Everybody that caught a pass or everybody that scored a touchdown for Georgia in the national championship game was a freshman, people. And every ball that was thrown by a walk-on, people. You know what I'm saying? And people say, "Oh, well, of course, Georgia's going to win." Alabama's best player got injured, bruh. You don't think we had injuries this year?
How many did we not have all year?
Well, it's easier to count the ones that we didn't have than it is to count the ones we. At one point, we had 19 guys on the injury list. That's a quarter of the roster. That's a full recruiting class, man. And you know what? That just goes. It's a testament to Georgia didn't just wake up with all this talent. This talent was built. This machine was built by Coach Smart. He constructed this mechanism of disaster, right? And if you construct the mechanism properly, when something does go wrong, the whole plane won't crash. You know what I'm saying? It'll still keep flying, give you time to fix things up, and you can win with Stetson Bennett. I hope that folks, if you, it's like I watched the Josh Pate show. I don't know if you watched Josh Pate. He's really good. Yeah, dude tells it like it is. And he said some of y'all other programs around the country need to sit up and pay attention. You say you want to win, but you just saying that. Kirby came in and said, if y'all want to win, these are the things that need to happen. And Georgia said, here's the keys, baby. And they just let him drive. And, Matt and I and other Georgia fans have complained. We complained about the Froms and Field thing. We complained about Eason, and we complained about 2nd and 26, and we complained about 4th and 11, and we're back. You know what I mean? We complained about all those things, dude. But it was all for this. Right. You know what I mean? It was all for this. And here we are. Maybe at the precipice of another dynasty. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe we don't see another title for 40 years. I don't know. But all I know is that right now, Kirby Smart is 10 years younger than Nick Saban was when he started his run. So,
and I don't think we're done. I don't think.
No, we ain't doing.
No, I don't think we're done right now. Hey Caleb, you watch Uncle Lou, right?
Oh yeah.
Other day on Uncle Lou's show, he said, I'll make a bet with any. It was on his final "Your season is over" video. If you haven't seen that, he said, I'll make a bet with anybody in the comments right now, $100 that Georgia will win another national championship in the next 5 seasons. He said, send me the money and I will put it aside. He goes out, and I believe that he would pay up too.
Oh yeah, he'd pay up.
But the fact is, ain't nobody gonna make that bet. That's a sucker bet to bet against Georgia right now. Maybe it doesn't happen, but the machine is rolling. The machine is built.
I think it does. I think it does happen. I don't know that it's hard to back in anything, so I don't know that I see that happening. But I do within the next before 2030, I'm going to say we're going to have 2 more.
2030.
Write it down, Mitch. Write it down.
Write it down. Shit, I might not even be. This desk will have rotted away by the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that you'll remind me when the time comes. I don't know, man. I mean, people say, well, it's hard to win a second one back to back, and I think, so what? Everything's hard, and it's hard to win one with a walk-on quarterback. And guess what? We just did that. You know what I mean? So everybody's talking about, all these guys, we're losing all these guys. Dude, have you seen the guys we still have?
The guys that come back.
It ain't like we didn't recruit. You know what I'm saying? Like we just keep loading them up, baby. We're losing some dudes, but I mean, some of these guys that are coming back, are they young? Absolutely. Are they talented? Absolutely. I just think that this next recruiting cycle, we don't even know the dividends that this national championship is going to pay yet. We can't fully wrap our heads around it. But do you really think that Nick Saban has to beg a recruit? Man, that dude shows up at your grandmama's house and just shows you the rings.
Yeah.
Either you want to play with this or you don't, and then pass the potatoes, you know what I'm saying? And that's all the recruiting he has to do. At some point, the logo just starts recruiting for itself, and it's getting to be that point with the G. Speaking of logos and speaking of, of recruiting and stuff like that, did you boys see It was in the Discord channel. Somebody posted a link to a Sports Illustrated article about the Fanatics merch store. UGA merchandise.
Yes.
#1 all-time bestseller. Dude, that's awesome, man. That is awesome.
I mean, that's the same thing when the Braves won the World Series. I think they broke MLB.com shop when the Braves won the World Series.
I'm not surprised by that. Georgia people are passionate people.
Very
and they've been waiting a long time.
That's right.
Braves fans have been waiting a long time. Georgia fans have been waiting an even longer time.
Yeah.
And when the dam breaks, dude, it breaks. And I just, like I'm saying, I just don't think that even we don't know just how much what sort of windfall there's going to be from this championship. Who knows, man? We could be seeing.
It's crazy. I know neither one of y'all are in Georgia, dude. It's been straight mayhem down here for the last.
I believe it.
I mean, 3 months, man. It's just been all you see is blue and red, red and black, Braves, Dogs, everybody barking at each other, man. I love it when I'm walking down the street or when I'm in Piggly Wiggly and I'm trying to get me a good steak and I hear rah, 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 rah. Like, I love it, man. It's just, people are crazy now, man, and Mitch knows especially, man. Us down here in South Georgia, we some redneck backwood people. We crazy down here. So every time I see somebody bark, I get excited, man. It's just, man, it's wild, dude. It's.
Caleb, I was driving down the road the other day out here on our main Market Street, right, which is it's like Shotwell Street in Bainbridge, right? So I'm out here on Market Street. I'm driving along. We got a little Sunoco station off on the side. I'm cruising along, and I glance over at the Sunoco station, and there's a dude with his red hoodie with his G right on the front. And, dude, I couldn't roll that window down fast enough. And I'm all hanging out. Go Dogs! You know what I mean? Like leaning out the window, whatever. And the dude just looked up. Go Dogs! Here we are shouting at each other. I ain't never met this guy. I never seen this guy again in my life. And here we are shouting. And then one day I was up at the Country Cupboard Buffet. Up in the next town. They got it's just like Moby Dick in Colquitt, right? It's the same concept. You walk in, you eat a whole bunch of food, and then you walk out or you crawl out. And so I was up there, and they got a little gift shop, sort of like Cracker Barrel. You know how they have the little gift shops out there? So we're looking around in the gift shop, and all of a sudden I look over, and there's this guy, and he's wearing an away jersey. He's got an away Georgia jersey with the G on the sleeve and everything. And I said, "Hold on." So I was with my daughter, and I said, "Go to your mama." I sent my daughter away to mama. Went over and talked to this guy, and I was like, What are you doing down here? And I'm wearing my Georgia shirt. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Where are you from, man?" He said, so he's from Ithaca, New York, and born and raised in New York. And I'm like, "Why?" I said, "So what made you cheer for the Dogs?" And he said, "They ain't no teams worth cheering for in New York."
That's true. That's true.
We are everywhere because the spring of 2019, my family and I were in Washington, D.C., just walking around and seeing the sights, going to the museums and stuff. And I was wearing this hat with just a plain black T-shirt with that logo on it. And I swear, just walking around the city of D.C., I had at least 15 people yell, "Go Dogs," during that day.
Yeah.
We are everywhere.
We were at Hershey, went to the Chocolate World experience there in Hershey, and there's this family, these real I can't even do the accent. It's real like Italian types, from Jersey, and these guys get off they're on the little. They have the ride that shows you how chocolate's made. I don't know if y'all ever been there. It's really cool, but it's for like little kids. So we're on the ride, and we get off, and there's this family, and there's like, I don't know, a mom, a dad, and like 3 kids, and she's even got a little baby, and all of them are wearing Philadelphia Eagles jerseys, except for the little boy who was old enough to walk, and that dude was wearing a UGA jersey, right? And I just walked over to the dad, big old, looked like a Jersey Short, you know what I mean, like one of like Paulie D or something, you know what I mean? And I walked over to him, and I was like, hey man, what's wrong with the little one? And he goes, I don't. And I always wear my Georgia stuff, and he's like, he realized what's going on and whatever. He goes, I don't know what he got in his head. He started watching that team a couple years ago, and we can't get him to turn him off. I was like, well, he's doing the right thing. So I'm sure that family's having a nice time now. Yeah. Oh, look at that. DGD, we are everywhere. Preston said Valdosta to play for Natty this year too. Hey man, we don't want to talk about that. I watched that game, bro.
Ooh.
we don't want to talk about that.
Hey, we took care of ain't Fair State from Michigan. I think Georgia took care of a Michigan team for them.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
My brother actually sent me a text message today. It made my whole morning. He said, "Dude, Michigan sucks so bad. I forgot we played them." Man, he's been trolling too, so it's been funny, man. I was like, oh boy, I was laughing already,
dude. On the Georgia Reddit boards, the week leading up to that Michigan game, all those Michigan people came over to the Georgia board, and it was wild, dude. Those guys were talking mad trash about Georgia this and Georgia that, and what they were going to do to us and all this kind of stuff. And boy, when that game was over with, them folks disappeared. There was like one guy who strolled back over with the little white flag and waved and was like, "I'm really sorry for all those other folks, you guys."
One of my best friends is from Michigan, and he's a Wolverine fan. Mm-hmm. He was relentless for 27 days before that game, but I haven't barely talked to him at all since the game.
I mean, it's a shame that that's the way it is because, like, honestly, Michigan had a great year, and I ain't got nothing particularly against Michigan. I mean, anybody that beats Ohio State's good in my book. You know what I mean? And so it was Michigan. They were due. You know what I mean? Harbaugh has been a tough luck guy, and they've had some heartbreaking losses, and maybe he's not the right guy, but also it's not my problem. You know what I mean? That's just kind of been my whole perspective. And so when they beat Ohio State, I was like, awesome, that's really good for you guys. And I saw when they drew us in the playoffs, and I was like, no, now you got to die like the rest of them. That's right. And so be it. I thought Cincinnati had a great season this year, and I'm really proud of what they were able to do. It's awesome that a group of 5 team finally cracked the top 4. That's super duper big. Did I want them to win a natty? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? I want to break into the playoffs and then get your spine handed to you by Alabama. That's what needed to happen.
My buddy from Michigan that I was talking about, his birthday was yesterday, so I sent him a picture of one of the many hits that their quarterbacks took that day, and I said, "Here, buddy, I got you a hug for your birthday."
A hug.
Dude, the thing about them though, their fans were terrible. Go back and watch my streams between the SEC title and December 31st. I actually did a film study. It was either the night before the game or 2 nights before the game. I did a little film study. It broke down Cincinnati, Alabama, all of them. And I got to watch in Michigan. I watched them play Michigan State and Ohio State, and I'm like, I see Kentucky. Right. They remind me of Kentucky. And they're like, you're stupid, bro. We killed Kentucky. I was like, y'all run the same offensive sets as Kentucky. Like, you can go back and watch it. And I was like, and then I told him, I was like, man, I think I said the score is going to be 35-10. I was a little off. And,
but not much.
No. But when only one Michigan fan came back out of the 50 that were in there at the time I was doing fields. I had like 70 people watching. He was like, I got to apologize to you. He said, because everything you said that was about to happen happened. He said, hats off to you, my man. He said, you hit that on the head. I was like, I see what I see, man. I mean, it is what it is. I know my football. I've been around it my whole life. So, I mean, I live with a coach. I lived with a coach for forever.
I mean, but you're right. I mean, you say these. That's kind of a two-sided statement, though. When you say like, I see Kentucky, meaning that we're going to handle you like we handle Kentucky, but it's not an insult to them.
No, it wasn't.
Because guess what? Kentucky's actually good.
Kentucky was the best team we played this year.
Yeah,
minus Alabama.
Yeah, it's a hard line between them and Clemson. Like I don't know.
I think they'd have beat Clemson.
If they could have scored, they would have beat them.
I think they'd have beat Clemson.
I don't think Clemson was going to score on them.
Clemson was a bunch of trash cans, man. They deserve to be in the Cheez-It Bowl. I just had to say that for Mikey, man. Anyway,
yeah. I mean, it's like I told him in the offseason, I was like, man, dude, y'all gonna need to fix up that offensive line. That offensive line is a problem, dude. And you remember the transfer portal had just offensive linemen just running off the page, and Dabo never went and picked up one. And I was like, okay. And then sure enough, man, we unleashed hell on them. And DJ still, that guy goes to sleep at night in a straitjacket. You know what I mean? Like he can't. He won't ever be right again. He's still having nightmares about, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean and those guys.
Jeez, he got thugs from everybody.
Christopher Smith. I mean, it was a very bad night for them.
I kind of felt bad for him, to be honest with you. I really did. Like, you take a beating like that. I mean, obviously, I wanted us to win, but I was like, man, that boy.
We broke his spirit.
Yeah. We hurt those boys' feelings bad. They weren't never right after that. What is this? Oh, hey. Yes. Hey, we are going to do all kinds of previews for the upcoming season. So here we are at the hour mark, guys. So I'm going to start wrapping this thing up. I want to talk a little bit briefly about what's coming on the channel in the off season, or wait, as Dan Mullen would call it during recruiting season.
Yeah. Right.
So, we are going to be doing some position group breakdowns for UGA. What arrivals and departures, basically, like who's coming, who's leaving, that sort of stuff, and just sort of get a feel about what's coming down the pipe. We're going to do it position group by position group, right? And we're also going to spotlight all the other SEC teams. So we go on every Tuesday night, 9:30. So look for that in coming days. We have National Signing Day just around the corner. Is it February 2nd this year, or is it February the 5th?
I just saw that the other day.
Hold on. National Signing Day. It's February 2nd. That's my birthday. So it'll be on Groundhog Day, my birthday. And we're going to do National Signing Day there. And when the rosters get shored up. Yeah, and then by the time we get through all the team capsules and team previews and whatnot, it'll be time to start talking about summer practice and that sort of thing, man, and getting ready to get into it again. So just like Kirby, man, we don't rest. We go year round. So if you want to rest, you're going to have to be a Gator fan, I reckon. So Preston said DJ was busy making Bojangles commercials. Yeah, that's about right. He was on one Dr. Pepper commercial. Y'all remember it? Saw that Dr. Pepper commercial in that first game, and you never saw DJU ever again, dude. Ooh. All right, so this has been a lot of fun, boys. Caleb, you got anything to say before we get up out of here? Plug your show, man. How do these people find you?
Facebook Gaming, KTG 13 TV. Actually, what's funny is my Dawgs in my online dynasty are preseason number 1, so it should be interesting, man. I'm trying to hunt my first ever national championship in that league. It's tough playing the hardest sliders there are, but KTG 13 TV, y'all we've been partying over there for the past 8 days, so y'all want to come by and party with us.
Now, do you ever do talk shows? Do you ever have guests on or things like that, or are you just strictly gaming?
Nah, like I said, I've done the I've never had a guest, but I have done film breakdowns. Sometimes we'll watch recruits, but mostly it's gaming. It just depends on if I get tired of the game or not. Also, I've been dabbling in Twitch now.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Different. Well, I like that because you can play the music, you can get the copyrights. I don't care if it gets shut down because I got a bigger platform on Facebook. So Twitch is kind of where we just go over there and we just run our mouths and we do whatever we want to do. But either way, it's KTG 13 TV on both of them, and come by, say what's up, and party like it's 1980, baby.
Yeah, no doubt. If you ever have a sit down talk, more than likely I'd be able to squeeze it in, provided I could get the kids in the bed in time. What about you, Patrick? Man. Are you creating anything right now? Or are you just soaking it all in? What's your status?
Yeah, I'm not really creating anything at the moment. Like you said, I'm just kind of soaking it all in. I'm just a fanatical Georgia Bulldog, Atlanta Braves fan. you can unofficially find me anywhere the DGD podcast looms around. I'm always in the various chat discords, whatever, trying to keep things going, trying to keep everybody hyped up. Trying to make Juan Daniels laugh. I mean, apparently I have a running thing able to do that lately. So, if anybody that hadn't checked out the DGD podcast with Robert Reynolds and Juan Daniels, come check it out. It's a good time. I know both of you guys know about it, and KTG, I know you've been on it several times. I mean, so that's kind of just what I'm doing. I mean, I would like to eventually maybe get into doing a little something of my own or in collaboration with other folks or whatever. But right now, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing and enjoying.
If you can make Florida memes, then there's a job for you. Hey, before we get out of here, let me do this thing real quick. Like, thank you, boys, for being on. Make sure to share this with your friends. Tell them to like it, comment, share it with their friends. Come back. We try to do this every Tuesday. Now, Matt and I have been away from it for the past couple of Tuesdays because of the holidays and whatnot. And then we wanted to do a game day stream, and we decided to eat barbecue anyway instead. So that's just how that goes sometimes. But anyway, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate you boys coming around. One last time.
I think we'll hang 20.
What?
It never gets old, baby. Hey, y'all boys be good. We'll see y'all all next week. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.